When did you learn that the DNC and Hillary Clinton campaign had funded Christopher Steele's work?
Yeah, I still don't know that for a fact.
What do you mean?
I've only seen it in the media. I never knew exactly which Democrats had funded. I knew it was funded first by Republicans, opposed to Donald.
But that's not true.
It's not true. Former FBI Director James Comey called out by our own Bret Baier on his claim that the anti-Trump dossier was funded by Republicans, which, again, as Bret said, is not true. Here now is Bill McGurn, Wall Street Journal columnist. That was an extraordinary moment in an extraordinary interview. It was one of the best interviews you and I were talking that we've ever seen. Here is a guy who used the Trump dossier to get a FISA warrant to spy on a political campaign. He paid Mr. Steele, the guy, and he didn't know who was behind it.
Have you ever thought of an FBI director who was more unaware of what was going on around him?
Unaware or lying right now.
Or doesn't have a good answer for it. I mean, the idea that he wouldn't know. He not only said he didn't know, he said he didn't need to know or wasn't interested in. I mean,
and by the way, this information that it was put out by Mr. Comey that in fact the Republicans started the Trump dossier. The Washington Free Beacon, which is the Republican group that at one point was paying Fusion, put out this last October. They said the Free Beacon had no knowledge of or connection to the Steele dossier, did not pay for the dossier, and never had contact with, knowledge of, or provided payment for any work performed by Christopher Steele. And James Comey, the head of the FBI, didn't know that?
Well, look, if you look at what's happened over the last year, quite a few FBI agents have been removed from their posts, retired, reassigned, and so forth, right? We don't know the reasons why. We do know that when the Inspector General investigates, he shares his findings with the boss first. I think we're going to find out when this new report comes out in about 2 weeks. I think they're planning what he did. So is Mr. Comey saying he had no idea what his underlings were doing? All the people that he had in trusted positions?
Yes, that's what he's saying, Bill.
Well, maybe he doesn't have
a... The question is whether you believe it, whether he can be that inept, or whether, in fact, he's lying.
And a point to another one on that. On the warrant, when Brett asked him about the warrant and said what was the role in it, my understanding from the congressmen that have looked at the application is that they led with the dossier and the application for it, and they relied heavily on it. And my understanding from Mr. McCabe, when he testified before Congress, is that he basically said no dossier, no warrant. Right? So it's setting up Mr. Comey against Mr. McCabe again.
And a guy who was so inept not to know all this stuff that he certainly deserved to be fired, which is exactly what happened to him. Let's talk about leaks, and let's get a little bit of the exchange on leaks from the interview last night. Go ahead.
Did you leak other things through Mr. Richmond?
Yeah. I'm smiling, Brett. I don't consider what I did with Mr. Richmond a leak.
He doesn't consider it a leak, he says with a laugh.
It sort of depends on what you mean by the word is, right? What a leak is. Look, what he leaked was a document he wrote on an FBI computer, and he shared it with the professor with the explicit understanding that it would be leaked to the press in the New York Times, and it was. I mean, it's hard to... I think this is not helping him, his book tour, because he's saying impossible things that are so bad, so hard to believe, they're kind of laughable.
It's also the case that a lot of the media is not saying certain things. The Hill came out with a very interesting piece that the Russian woman who took a meeting with Donald Trump Jr., her name is Natalia Vasilnitskaya. This woman was an agent for Russian intelligence from 2012 on. What the Hill does not say is that not only did she take a meeting, and there she is on the right there, with Donald Trump Jr., but before and after that meeting, she met with Fusion GPS.
Right. And
so she was playing both sides.
Right, and we still don't know the full story. That's why I think when you step back, what we need is the full story. What happened at the FBI? What happened within the intelligence community? What happened with the Russians? And we have almost no real answers to this. We have a lot of hints.
Even with Jim Comey out of the director's spot, which he should be out of the director's spot, can we get answers to those questions?
I think we are. I think we're going to learn a lot from the IG report that's coming out. Now, remember, that's confined to the Hillary matters, and that came about because Democrats were screaming that Mr. Comey had thrown the election to Trump by his late-minute announcement. So we're going to find out a lot of information. We're finding out stuff. It's like pulling teeth from Congress, getting documents. I mean, if you look at the Comey memos, It's unconscionable that that was withheld from Congress for so long. It explains a lot. And remember, in that, I think these words are going to come back to haunt the FBI director. He said, I don't do sneaky things, I don't leak, and I don't make weaselly moves. You know, I'm not sure.
Depends how you define weasel.
Yeah, I was saying I'm not sure it rises to perjury, but weaselly, I think, is.
We got to leave it at that. Thank God there's the Wall Street Journal edit page, which comes out with a lot of this information. Bill McGurn, thank you very much.